his dental record that the Soviets said confirmed to them they'd found Hitler's body. But then the Soviets released a photo claiming it was Hitler, but it really wasn't Hitler. So that fueled a whole conspiracy. Did the Soviets make a mistake?
August 1945. President Truman asks Joseph Stalin if Hitler was dead. Stalin's alleged reply, no. Less than a year later, at the Nuremberg trials, Chief of the U.S. Trial Counsel, Thomas J. Dodd, states, no one can say he is dead. In 1958, the U.S. declassifies 6 X-rays of Hitler's skull. Not a single one shows evidence of a gunshot wound. And to further the mystery, does the existence of this FBI file prove that the U.S. government knew Hitler was alive?
The FBI file for Adolf Hitler stretches hundreds of pages, and when you look at the photographs that were disseminated by the intelligence community, including the FBI, about what Hitler could look like after the war, that fact in itself proved that they themselves didn't really believe 100% that Adolf Hitler was dead.
After Hitler died, many people reported they had seen him. They sent letters to J. Edgar Hoover at the FBI. A vast file was built of this, these reports of sightings.
The letters flooded into the FBI with sightings of the Fuhrer. The New Yorker reports seeing Hitler on the public transit system there. Another man reports that Hitler had work done by a St. Louis dentist. Every letter was received, acknowledged, saved, and hidden from view. Until now.
The size of the FBI file suggests that the FBI thought that Hitler might be alive.
But if he truly survived after the war, where did he go? Most believe that answer is Argentina.
After the fall of the Nazi regime, many Nazi officers actually escaped and were never captured. They went to different countries, primarily to South America and Argentina.
Joseph Mengele, Adolf Eichmann, and Franz Stangl were all top Nazi officials proven to have escaped to Argentina. But was it possible Hitler was among them? Startling new research indicates the possibility.
The U-530 was a Nazi German submarine that shows up in Argentina 2 months after the end of the war, with no record of where they had been or why they were there. Well, what's this all about? Did some German leaders get to Argentina in this submarine? Did Hitler himself somehow get spirited away and end up in Buenos Aires after the war? It's a fascinating story.
A 1945 radiogram from the FBI seems to confirm this suspicion. It reads, "Report Hitler in Argentina." Could this be proof that Hitler faked his suicide by murdering his doppelganger, escaped Nazi Germany, and lived out his days hiding in South America? In 2009, the mystery deepens when scientists announce that Soviet-held skull fragments, long believed to have belonged to Adolf Hitler himself, are determined to have actually come from a female skull. Propaganda, murder, deception. Hitler mastered them all. These tactics represent the past, present, and future of global leadership. Will mankind ever end its limitless lust for power? Up next, we reveal the shocking schemes of the world's political and corporate elite have devised to stay in control forever. Unsealed. Conspiracy Files. Welcome back to the world of conspiracy. This is Unsealed. Conspiracy Files. Doppelgangers, imposters, fake suicides, and cold-blooded murder. From medieval times to present day, world leaders have used criminal tactics to tighten their grip on the masses. And with modern technology, these devious methods are becoming even more difficult to uncover.
At the end of the Korean War, the Soviets and the Chinese held back American POWs. Why did they do this? They wanted to use the identities to attach to their own saboteurs and agent provocateurs. Remember the movie Manchurian Candidate? It wasn't fiction.
Taking over the crown or becoming the first president of the United States. Imposters and tyrants went to great lengths to steal power in the past. Perhaps there are no bounds as to how far power-hungry tycoons will go today.
By definition, a person who reaches high office is an incredibly driven human being. They want the power, not only because they feel entitled to it, but they often believe they have great gifts to share, that the survival or well-being of the population depends on their leadership.
Sure, there were world-class leaders like Hitler and Mussolini and Stalin who rose from the ranks, not the aristocracy. Today the world is different. With smartphones and the internet, just about anyone can rise from obscurity simply on the basis of technology. The power is in the palm of your hand.
Chief executive officers, board members, and company presidents. These are the kings and queens of modern day. With their unlimited resources, the rich and the powerful can exploit any means necessary to make their names, and even their lives, everlasting.
We've cloned sheep. We've cloned human organs. We've developed anti-aging formulas. Right now, the only thing between the human race and immortality is the cost of the science itself. You can be immortal, if only you're rich enough to afford it.
Could the tools of power be shifting towards a future of mass misinformation, cloning tactics, and manufactured bloodlines?
What if somebody were to create a carbon copy of themselves just simply to have some spare parts? If your heart goes or your lung fails, well, now you've got an exact copy that should be able to get implanted right into your body, and you're good to go.
Billionaires and dictators who replace themselves not with an heir apparent, but with version 2.0. Could immortal leaders be the future of global tyranny?
Sure, Hitler lost, but it doesn't mean someone like him won't rise again at some point. And just imagine what a crazed person could do with the kind of cloning technology that exists.
It's very important that people understand that there's no law that prohibits us from doing this kind of work in the USA. And I do not know whether the human cloning is controlled by the FDA or not. But there are an awful lot of gray areas in this country.
Unsealed case file. The cloning laws. Only 8 states in America have full bans on human cloning. Iowa State Law 707C prohibits human cloning for any purpose. Prohibits transfer or receipt of a cloned human embryo for any purpose. Human cloning is punishable as a felony offense.
It's just a matter of time before the technical problems are solved, and cloning a human is just as simple as getting an allergy shot.
The situation is developed as such that the governments allow us to do what we do. All we need is a laboratory the size of a kitchen, and we can create all the clones we want.
Clone imposters on the world's biggest stage. The office of the President of the United States of America. Could our nation's greatest threat be the presidential assassination we never find out about?
Extremists and terrorists are becoming vastly more sophisticated, breaking into secure databases with handheld devices. We are in a whole new world of technology. Just imagine if terrorists got their hands on the DNA of very important people, and they cloned them, and they grew them, and they sent them back into the United States or back into other countries. Not knowing who was real and who was a clone, we'd be fighting ourselves.
Could the United States be in the midst of a real-life clone war?
It's one thing to say that human cloning might be part of some dystopian future. The point is, cloning is going on now. People are banking their DNA, freezing their own DNA to be cloned if they become sick with some kind of incurable disease. This is happening now. It's not something in the next 200 or 300 years.
Human clones as body doubles, billionaires with immortal bloodlines. Tyrants will go to every length imaginable to utilize the power of science. Coming up, we expose the human clones already in play. Could today's leaders be the masters of tomorrow? Unsealed Conspiracy Files. Welcome back to the world of conspiracy. This is Unsealed Conspiracy Files. The time to act is now. There are 3 simple steps you can take to unseal the truth.
Follow on Twitter.
Follow the Unsealed Twitter feed to receive breaking news of the latest conspiracies as they develop.
Tell your story.
What did you see that you shouldn't have?
The government's known about it all along. Why has nobody told us?
Upload stories and pictures to our interactive map.
Join the movement.
Get the unsealed bracelet and the unique code hidden underneath to access exclusive content. Stop living in the dark.
It is definitely coming this way.
Get involved in the fight to unseal the truth. Now. Body doubles and doppelgangers confounded historians as to the truth behind the lives and deaths of some of the most infamous leaders in the history of the world. Could scholars now be fooled by modern-day clones posing as tomorrow's dictators?
North Korean leader Kim Jong-il hadn't been seen for months before he's dead. Then suddenly his son, his successor, Kim Jong-un, appears. But what if Kim Jong-un is really a clone of Kim Jong-il? Can you imagine?
40 years after man cloned an animal gene, human cloning is common practice. Information is everywhere, and misinformation has never been easier to spread. When one leader disappears and another takes over, how can we ever know who's real and who's an imposter? Unsealed. Conspiracy Files.